headquarters a little bit outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And then for every market, you pretty much have a small regional office in most countries that they operate in around the world. The last time I checked, I believe we were doing serious business in about 42 to 47 countries internationally, and most of which had an office there. There's, as you know, there's Nike Town retail centers, but if you're wanting to get outside of retail and into the more corporate business world, they do have offices all over the world.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go down the row, and then we're going to go back to Q&A to keep it moving. So Alyssa, I'm going to turn to you and have you take the mic. So, did you spend all of your career post-university before Holt in the advertising industry? Was that where you spent your whole career?
Okay. I spent all my time in the advertising agency side, so this is now the service sector side, the total opposite, where Steve worked, he was on the company side, on the industry side. Working on the service sector side is completely different. So I did...
Lisa, speaking to the mic if you can,
okay.
Okay? Yeah, just should get a green light.
Right. Okay, I did my bachelor degree in media design, which was very creative, so I started with graphic design, web design, TV production, and then get more specialized in branding and marketing. After that, I started an internship at Service Plan, which is one of the leading and biggest advertising agencies in Germany. What do I mean with big? We are just in Munich about 1,200 people, which is huge for an advertising agency, because normally you can expect like 30, maybe 150 people doing within an agency. Yes?
Sorry, which one?
Oh yeah, sorry, the name is Service Plan, and maybe you didn't hear it before, but it's one of the leading ad agencies in Europe, so they're becoming more and more international, so they're opening offices in Dubai, Milan, Zurich, Moscow, and nearly everywhere because they want to become international. And it's different because there you have an opportunity to jump pretty high in your career within a short time. So I was there for 3 years, and at first I was an intern for 3 months, then I was a trainee for 6 months, then I became a junior consultant, then a consultant, and at least a manager and a senior manager within 3 years, which is huge. So there you have like the opportunity to jump quickly high with your salary also within 3 years. I worked for the main clients like BMW, Bang & Olufsen, Puma, Lego, and you can imagine the job. I was like the interface as a brand and marketing professional. I was the interface between the client and the design. So I worked together with the client from the beginning of the idea, when the idea raised up to maybe to create a new product, to relaunch an old product, or just to do a new advertisement campaign for a right existing product or service. And so you develop together with the client a strategy and an idea, and when the strategy is developed, you go to the designers, and the designers might be like graphic designers, web designers, TV productions, sound designers, and you work with a lot of different people together. So you work like with the TV production, as I mentioned before. You work together with a casting agency to find the right people for your advertising campaign. You work with illustrators, you work with and you have to coordinate and organize all those people that the strategy become visual. That at the end, you see the TV spot on the TV, that the radio spot is on air and the website online. So you have to be the project manager, the accountant, the secretary, you actually everything in that position, and you, from the beginning till the end, you have to watch out for that project.
Okay. So can you talk about sort of the best, because I know it's a very demanding job, right? And I know that clients can be tough sometimes. So can you talk about the best and worst elements of what sounds like an incredibly significant number of balls that you have to keep in the air all the time?
I mean, the best element is, if I start with the best element, is you are on the creative side. So you are the one who's developing the strategy. You are the one who can bring in your creative input. You can think about new ideas, about new channels, how you can reach the customer, about new innovative media you can use. You are on the creative side. But at the end, I mean, the client has the last word. And if the client wants to have the advertisement campaign in green, and all your designer says, no, it has to be blue, at the end you have to do it in green because his wife likes green, whatever. Because at the end he has the last word, and you have to do what the client wants, even if it's not the right way. It's sometimes very pity.
Well, I worked at Autobahn, maybe you know that, it's German. there were we had agencies that were also in a consulting position, not like yeah, we would do this, and we said no, we don't want to do it. They say, well, you should do it this way. Why? And then they explain us why. So did you do that as well, or?
Of course, you're also a consultant. You work together. You work together with the client, and you have also explain what is the right way, what is the wrong way. You have sometimes clients who want to learn and who are listening to you, but sometimes you have clients they just want it that way, and there's no way around it.
Okay, so in terms of your observations from a social and digital point of view, I mean, any major distinctions between what we see here in San Francisco, which is sort of the heart or the epicenter of the digital media world, and what you've seen in Europe, especially with larger clients? I mean, is there a fairly significant gap there, or is it fairly close?
It's very close, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, working on the advertising side is you have a very entrepreneurial spirit. The people are very open-minded, sometimes very crazy. You know, you work together with all that creative minds, with all that designers. So I think it's pretty similar.
Okay, and so they actually had digital sort of under the service plan umbrella, so they had acquired digital agencies, and that was a part of the offering that you were able to bring to the client
Exactly.
as well?
Why we are so big is that we offer everything in-house. So we have our own, for example, our own event management agency, we have our own TV production, we have our own graphic design studio, so we have everything in-house. If the client wants a multi-channel campaign through all channels, we don't have to outsource anything. So I can just knock next door and say, hey, I need a radio spot, hey, I need a model for my TV, hey, because this was awesome, because normally you have to work with a lot of different companies together to create one product. There is everything in-house in one agency.
Okay. And one last question, Alyssa. And what was the campaign or the project or the client work that you were most proud of, that was really impactful and deeply satisfying for you? Is there anything that really jumps out at you that you look back and say, that was really awesome?
Yeah, what was really awesome, I did for GlaxoSmithKline, which is a huge pharmaceutical company. They wanted to do something new. They wanted to produce a TV broadcast show, like a real TV show. And so this was one of my biggest projects, because I had to organize everything on my own. And so at the end, like 100 people working there on the day when the TV production starts, you're standing there, you have the camera team, you have the actor, you have the graphic people there, you have the web people there, and you have to organize and coordinate. And of course the client is running on the TV production too. In the end we produced like, I don't know, 20 TV shows which we put on their website, and it increased their, the people, suddenly we had like 3,000 followers in a week, suddenly we had 5,000 followers in a week on a pharmaceutical company website, which is actually not that normal, but this TV broadcast show was so awesome that doctors and clients and pharmaceutical people went to that website and watched that TV show. So this was an innovative idea which we brought up to the pharmaceutical website, because they came with us just simple, well, you know, we all have that boring website, nobody's visiting our website, we don't know what we should do, we want to have some more traffic on our website. And then we said, okay, let's do a TV show.
When you first presented the idea, what was their reaction towards the amount of money that they were supposed to, like their budget? Did they freak out about it? Was that a challenge of any way? Or did they have a lot of money?
Yeah, GlaxoSmithKline has a lot of money. Pharmaceutical companies have a lot of money. Yeah, but it depends. Sometimes when we have very small clients, very little clients, we don't come there and say, well, we are one of the leading advertising agencies. Some said, well, you know, our apartment, we have just 30 people, our prices aren't that high. You present yourself as a small company, but in the background you have that 1,200 people. And if you go to a big client like BMW, when all of a sudden you say, well, you know, we have international departments around the world, we are so big and we have everything in-house. So it depends. If you have a small client, you don't present yourself like a huge company, because that scares the client. But if you have like a big client, you go there and say you're the king and the star on the market. Yeah.
Listen, I can't resist, because Steven's from Nike, and he mentioned Adidas as well, and we're talking about a Nike case in class. Puma, of course, is a brand that you mentioned was one of your clients.
Exactly.
Can you spend any time talking about how Puma competes with big marketing powerhouses like Nike in America and Adidas in Germany? And it sounds like it's going to require some creativity. Anything you can shed light on around that? The Puma
well,
brand?
we do a lot of competitor analysis.
Yes, okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
We look what's on the market.
All right. Anything unique about their approach? Anything that Puma's trying to do differently as a way to kind of stand out in the market? Nothing terribly new. Okay. All right. Thank you, Alyssa. All right. I'm going to move over to the Red Bull side of the house. Right. Everybody in this age group knows Red Bull. Right. So Michelle Karela, right? Karela. Okay. From Lebanon, spent time at Red Bull, which is probably one of the most fun places to do event marketing. So were you at Red Bull the whole time prior to coming to Holt?
Yes.
Okay. So can you talk about what got you to Red Bull? It must have been a pretty competitive job market trying to get a job there.
No, it's funny if I'm going to tell you because I got there by mistake.
Okay. Well, lucky you. Yeah.
No, I was too young at that time and I just finished my BA and the product was really new in my country. I never knew anything about it. I just wanted to work.
Okay.
And I went there, I saw the cars, they looked funny for me, whatever.
Okay.
I spent the first 6 months I was complaining, I wanted to leave because every time they train me and they tell me that will give you wings, I was like, okay. And then I ended up 9 years with them, working in 3 different countries. And I believe that what makes me stay there is to understand the brand, believe in it, and then you have to live it.
Okay.
To understand it and stay.
So do you live the Red Bull and vodka part of the brand?
I live both.
Okay. So talk about the evolution. So 9 years is a long time, right? Red Bull probably wasn't nearly as interesting when you joined. So what were the major phases of growth for Red Bull from the start, from when you got there until when you left? Some of the big sort of pivot points in their growth.
It's their marketing plan, which is very special. And I think everyone learns from that how to do marketing. They do it in a very special way.
Okay.
And the way they do it.
Rocco's rolling his eyes at you. But I know you're going to swat each other before this is over anyway. I'm just waiting for it.
Whatever other companies or beverage companies do anything, we do the opposite.
Yeah, okay.
We don't go to anyone, that's why we are the users.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Paul. Okay. So give us an example. What is it that makes it unique? Give me an example of sort of a radically different approach to marketing.
Like the easiest way is their events.
Okay.
The way they do events, they created the events. So now all other competitors, they copy us.
Okay.
I have to say that Red Bull started in 1987 and they were the first energy drink. So now after 26 years, there is more than 580 energy drinks in the world.
Right, okay.
So they all copy whatever they do.
Okay. So I know here in San Francisco they had this one event, this human propulsion event where you build your own airplane and you try to take off of a ramp. So is that just one of many crazy events that they do?
Yeah, this is a small one compared to others.
Okay.
You have Flugtag, you have Soapbox, which is the same, but they create cars, funny cars, instead of planes.
Yeah.
And you have the Formula One, definitely. They didn't create it, but definitely they play a big role in it.
Okay.
And that's what pushed them really high on the market.
Okay.
Because Formula One campaign are really big.
Yeah.
They have flying bulls, they have football teams, they have, it's non-ending. And I have to say to everyone that Red Bull has everything, so anyone who is interested in media, people don't know about it, that we have Red Bull TV.
Okay.
And if anyone is interested in communication, you have Red Bull Media House.
Okay.
You have the party side, you have the sports side, you have the brand management,
Okay.
I think everyone can work for Red Bull, but definitely it has to go to sports or music, or at least some of the Red Bull personalities.
Okay. What percentage of their revenue does Red Bull spend on event marketing? Must be huge.
Yeah, it's very high. It depends. It varies from market to market.
Yeah.
But I can recall now maybe like 10%.
Okay.
In a small market like I was before, but I'm not talking worldwide, definitely.
Okay.
I was talking about the market that I worked for.
Okay.
I don't have the numbers for others.
All right. So Steven thinks he's going back to Nike. You sound like you're pretty passionate about Red Bull. You think you're going to go back?
I'm definitely going back.
You're definitely going back. Wow. Okay. Not even a question, huh?
Yeah.
And
Liliana can help you. She's part of us.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this.
I did not know. Liliana, you're
That's
a
why
Red Bull
look
too?
at her.
Okay. Cool.
She's a sample of the spirit of the office.
Okay. Rafi, you want to go work for Red Bull?
Sure. I know a few people who do the street acting.
Yeah.
All right, would you go back to Lebanon to work for Red Bull, or would you go somewhere else?
Here.
Yeah.
I think I've done the experience of the Middle East, and I'm willing to do something bigger here. Because definitely Red Bull works based on the maturity of the market compared to Red Bull. Here the market is more mature, and I think we can do bigger events and get different kinds of things.
Okay. So what's the most fun thing you worked on at Red Bull? What was the thing that really stands out for you over the 9 years?
Mainly, but the most important thing for me now is Formula One, which I was part of it for 6 years. I did 6 races with them. I get to meet all the drivers, I get to meet all the marketing managers for Formula One.
Yeah.
Even other competitors, drivers, I was at the pit stop.
Yeah.
I did lots of events to leverage of the Formula One in Bahrain,
Yeah.
where I had to make sure we have media coverage, interviews with Vettel, like all kind of this stuff which is far away from the consumer good, because all of my marketing experience is in the product itself.
Okay.
So that was very important to me.
Cool.
But definitely I did Flugtag and I did other rallies and
Okay. So,
X-Fighters.
so what advice would you give to students that might want to go work for Red Bull? What's the best way to approach Red Bull?
Red Bull are very flexible. Like whoever send them an email on their website, they reply. And they get it, because I was market manager, and every time I receive an email from Austria that someone, even if he has a question,
Yeah.
I have to reply to them.
Wow.
So whoever sends his CV online to redbull.com, he has to make sure that it's going to be read, and the person responsible for this market has to reply to him. So I don't know in which career or field you are looking for, but definitely you can find, if you find yourself there, you can do it.
Okay. And last question, Michelle, before we hand it off to your buddy over there. What's their social approach? I mean, they're big on events, but how about social media? How do they supplement building community and physical with social and digital? What's their approach there?
Yeah, for the past 3 years, it's getting really bigger. And now they have a new opening, which is, it's a new, I don't know what is it, but it's called like digital marketing manager. Which is focusing on all digital media they do. As I said, they work on the Red Bull TV a lot, and the Red Bull Media House, and they have all of the applications on iPad.
Okay. So very much a digital company as
Yeah,
well these days.
it's getting really bigger.
All right, cool. Thank you, Michelle. All right, Rocco, a little startup called Procter & Gamble, right?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I don't know if everybody knows P&G, Procter & Gamble. No, seriously, because I don't know, anybody that doesn't know it, or...
If they don't know it, they got in the hall, we got a
Okay,
problem.
perfect. Okay, cool.
That's right.
So I wanted to say like basically two things about P&G, then whatever question, everything, but just to give you like idea from the inside. So the first thing is how it's structured in a very general way, broad way, then we can go deep in detail. And then what the brand manager does. So the first thing is that we have global business units, Cincinnati, Geneva, basically, for my experience is, of course, in Europe, I'm from Italy, and in the United States it's Cincinnati, the headquarters. And then in each country where P&G operates, and basically everywhere in the world, they have MDO, so Market Business Organization. So basically what happens is that in the headquarters, they develop the strategy, and they, for example, for a product launch, new product innovation, they basically deliver a toolbox of things, of initiatives, of marketing campaign, everything. So what's the product should look like, what's the message to be delivered, what's going to be the color of the packaging, everything. And then the toolbox gets to the MDO locally to be implemented. So according to what's the local customer wants, what's his or her needs, because of course there are differences locally. But basically there's always, the strategy is always decided in the headquarters. So the GBU. Let's talk about the brand manager. So in a company like P&G and other similar companies, marketing people, they are the rock stars.
Rocco, we already knew that, too.
No, it's great. So marketing people, they have a lot of responsibilities since day one, but you actually can do everything. You touch every aspect of the product, every aspect of the brand. So you can name whatever kind of thing that you can do with a product. Feel free to ask. Developing a new packaging, you can do that. TV advertising, you do that. Radio, billboards, events, not as cool as Red Bull, of course. I have to admit that. Yeah, very cool.
It's humbling, but you have to admit it, yeah.
But everything. But I'm trying. I tried hard. But I couldn't to make very cool stuff because I was working for Pampers, so baby care. So as much as you want to make something cool, well, it's very tough. But for example, if you work on Pampers, think about you have to sell something to somebody who's not going to use the product. Because the mom's not going to try the product, you know what I mean? So it's going to use the product on he or her baby. So what do you know about that? So it's very tough. So I was in also marketing research. You do a lot of that. I was in the room, like when guilty people get arrested by police and interview at SaaSPlus, something like that. I was behind the glass, listening to moms, talking about our products, or if they get the message that we were trying to deliver for like 6 months, and they totally misunderstood that you want to jump in the room and say, it was pretty clear. No, they didn't get it. Because they were so focused on the baby, they were watching the commercials like, whatever, it's a diaper. No, it's not a diaper, it's something more than it's a diaper. But yeah, and yes, so basically the brand manager role, it's very, very interesting because you do everything. You can't do everything from day one, but the most important thing from my experience is that you manage and you deal with cross-functional teams. So whatever project you have to work on, like new packaging. Okay, so you have technical packaging people, engineers. This bag has to go through the machine, so you have to talk to these guys, make sure the specifications are like they want. Creative agencies. So you work with people like Alyssa because they have to make a very, very cool artwork. And you have to write the brief. And the brief is like a one-page document. And if you use one word, which is not very clear, then you can have a result, like the first proposal, which is something I was not expecting that. Well, you use this word. For me, this means that. So it's very tough. You have to be careful whatever you do because you want the result and you cannot waste time because you're not clear. You talk with the legal department. Whatever thing you write on the packaging must be legally approved. Salespeople. How big is the packaging? Will fit on the shelf? So never forget to walk in the stores and check what's going on there. So since I was working for Pampers, every time I go into, even at Safeway, even now, I go there and I check. And I'm like, what's this? Oh, this is wrong. Oh, this is cool. What's so expensive here? So yeah, once you start being into, because the brand is like your child. So yeah, they freak your mind. We say that they proctorize you. You've been proctorized. That's true. So I don't know. Questions?
So,
other funny stories?
So hold on one sec. So,
sure.
So we've got 2 people for sure. And Alyssa, I know you've got a job offer from your current. It sounds like you have to think about it, right?
Exactly.
You got to think about it. But we got 2 people here that sound like they're going back. So how's it going to go down for you, my friend? What are you going to do?
Okay, the job was amazing. I left because after 4 years,
Yeah.
and not because we're just Pampers, but shampoos, razors, detergents. I simply didn't feel a connection with the product. So I was like, the job is great. I can stay here forever, and the career is not that slow like in other companies, not super fast like in agencies. But I mean, all people which are top managers in P&G, they started with an internship like I did.
Yeah.
But the point is that when you don't feel a connection with the product, you don't get excited like the first day. I decided to leave, to quit. So I have chances to, but I did this first step, so I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Even if I have a better job than the one I had before, I'm here because I want to go and see what, I want to go forward and see what's going on in other industries. So.
Thank you, Rocco. So what I'm going to do, I want to open it up now. So I'm going to ask for hands, and I'm going to pass out a microphone. So would you please pass this down to Viviana? And please go ahead and split up. So we're going to just take some questions, okay?
Okay, so this question is for Eliza. I also worked in the ad industry for a while. It's not pretty common to an MBA for an account executive. So what made you decide to get an MBA? Especially, as you said, your growth was so fast. What really made you decide for an MBA?
Good question. Actually, my next step was like the marketing director with an own car, own office and everything. And the other hand was doing an MBA. So this was a very tough decision, which step in my life I want to do now. But I recognized that I was so focused on only one thing, on just marketing, branding, and creative stuff. I had no clue about finance, accounting, HR, and how to manage a business. And so I had the feeling I need to gain a 360-degree view to get more experience, to understand the business better, and to maybe run one day my own business. And if you want to have one day your own business, it's not enough to know how to work with Photoshop or how you can lead designers, because then you need to know how a business is running. And that's why I decided to do an MBA. And then I was thinking maybe I want to switch on the company side and work for one of these companies, because this is something different. If you work in an advertising agency, as you might know, is that you work for different clients, you have different products, so it never gets boring. But one day you want to have something own, you know, like the Pampers. And yeah, your own product where you're responsible for, you have to take care of, and where you can bring it or like create a future for it. And then I thought, okay, when I switch to the company side, I'll be the client for one day. Because on the service sector, you do everything for the client, and the client is king. And I was thinking, okay, maybe I want to be the client one day, and I want to be on the client side. But right now, as I said, my advertising agency want to become international, so they open new department around the world. They want to become like a big agency like Saatchi & Saatchi, so they open a new department in Moscow, Russia, and they asked me to come back and to work there in the business development and help to build up this department. And now I have to decide what I should do, and I'm not pretty sure yet what I will do. Go to Russia and open a new department, or switch to the company side.
Question over here. Let me give you the mic, okay? Just so we can get a question on the video. Thanks.
My question is for you. Well, you said that you work for the football division. Yeah. And to me, Nike has had one of the best ads in football ever. I mean, there's been some very heated competition with Adidas, but to me, the ads in Nike especially are very cinematic and pretty epic. And my question is, why do you think that here in the States, soccer hasn't catch up the same way that it, I mean, it's a pretty well-defined market everywhere else. Why do you think here it doesn't have the same? Do you think it's a sport? Do you think it's a culture?
It's a philosophical question.
Yeah, it's very
I was actually talking, and it had something to do about the fact that it's a sport that doesn't give you breaks to show commercials.
Yeah, well, that's a very loaded question.
It's a good point. It doesn't give you breaks. I mean, in baseball, you get breaks every 3 minutes. Basketball, if you watch a close game, it takes forever to play 15 seconds. So it doesn't give you that. And do you think that's the reason why soccer? I know it's a more. But
there's a lot of reasons that soccer is not as big as it is everywhere else in the world. The commercial breaks is, I think, a small fraction of the reasons for that. It's cultural, it's economical, it's political. Our history, we had baseball and American football and basketball from as